These are the fourth dimensions. Okay, let's start with 0 dimensions. Okay, so the 0th dimension is just a single pixel right here. That's the 0th dimension. If you were to live inside of the 0th dimension, let's say red is you. So if you were to live in the 0th dimension, you can't really you can't. The only thing you would see is nothing. You would literally see nothing, not even black, because black is a color. So technically, you can't see anything. So there would be a color that you would see if you were in the third, 0th dimension, incomprehensible to right now. So let's say you were to live. Let's move up 1 dimension. So now you're in the first dimension, and this is the first dimensional plane. Let's add some objects to the first dimensional plane. The green stuff are the objects. And let's say you were to be in the middle. Now, what you would see, you could only look front and backwards. So, and when you change perspectives, you would just instantly change from front to back. So you would only see green if you shift to there. If you shift to that view, you also see only green. If that green gets removed, you'll see black. So let's move up 1 more dimension. Let's go to the 2nd dimension. Let's go to the 2nd dimension. Hold on, it takes a while. Shoot, okay. So let's say you were enclosed in this 2-dimensional plane. Now you could not only move front and backwards, you could also move you could move from here, right? So you can move. Oh yeah, in the first dimensional plane, you could move front or backwards. Right here, you can move there, right? You can't go up or down though. So let's say we were to put in some obstacles here. So if you were to be in here, this is you. If you were to see this green, black, green, black, 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 green, black, black, green, black, black, green, black, 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 green, black, 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 right? So let's put a 3rd dimensional object inside of the 2nd dimensional plane. So the 2nd dimensional plane would look like this if you were to put like a phase a sphere inside of the 2nd dimension. So let's make a separate layer here, and let's make a sphere. So that sphere, hold on. Why does it do that? Okay, but anyway, so that sphere, if you move it down, right now, what the 2nd dimensional person sees is this, right? But then it turns into this, and then it reaches max size, and then when you move it down, it it reaches a smaller size again. So that would be like magic. Oh my god, what? Right? So if you were to shift again 1 more dimension to the 1st dimension, god, that's so fucking loud. If you were to shift again to the 3rd dimension, right, let's just, okay, so let's go to Blender for this purposes, because Paint.net is only a 2D space. So if you were to go to Blender, right? Let's make a 3D plane. So right here is our 3D plane. Let's subdivide and add wireframe. Make this emission. So let's say so you turn from the second dimensional red cube to the third dimensional cube, square in the second dimension. So this were to be you, right? You could view, let's add obstacle. Let's add an obstacle. Let's add the green obstacle again. So this would, so not only could you see left, right, or backwards, you could also see up or down or shit like that. So if you were to be something like the red cube, you could see, oh, green, green. Okay, let's change the background to black. Oh, you know what? No. Okay, it doesn't really work in the preview viewport. So but anyway. So green, 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 gray, green, 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 green. Right? So cool. But then in the fourth dimension, let's put a fourth dimensional sphere inside of the third dimension. So let's say this fourth dimensional sphere has many timelines. It moves from here to here in the third dimension. In the fourth dimension, the timeline would be something like this. So if I were to do this, blah blah blah, right? If I were to do something like if I were to do something like this and then just extrude up, right? And so this would be what it looks like for people in the fourth dimension. You could see all the timelines, all the frames of the sphere moving from here to here. So, but like in the third dimension, if you were to move it from here, to here, actually, you know what? Well, I mean, if it just moves from there to there, it might not look as weird, but like, because of physics, it can't just move on its own, so that might look pretty weird to you. So let's do things up a bit and change rotation, change size, stuff like that, right? So let's say you were to, so it would be a big size. So let's just do this, blah blah blah, shit like that. Faces, all the faces, right? And do this, and it changes size from small to big. So in the third dimension, in the fourth dimension, it would look something like this. And let's change the size in the X position, and let's do that. So now, not only does it change size and position, it also changes rotation. So now in the fourth dimension, it would look like this, but
trade inbound.
Shut the fuck up! Oh my god. But from the third dimension, it would look like something like this. So it will look normal at first, but then it would phase downwards, change its size, change its X size, and rotate a bit. So it would look something. Like this, right? So you would be like, what? How? But then, again, in the fourth dimension, you would see all the timelines, and it wouldn't really look weird to you. So, yeah. It's the same for the fifth dimension. It's the same for the fifth dimension. In the fifth dimension, stuff from the fifth dimension just move or resize, or, it's the same, blah, 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 and it goes up and up infinitely. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you reach the end of my 10-minute video, which I don't think many of you will because you're just here from Geofilms.